Thursday, July 23rd. I think it's been warm here. I'm not too sure. I've been away camping in Sequoia National Park. Before leaving, we harvested some potatoes and also some tomatoes to bring with us. There are fewer tomatoes on these vines. If you caught the previous updates, you'll notice that there were more hanging out. So these are the tomatoes that are on the vine currently. One thing I want to note is that one of the differences between hybrid tomatoes like this celebrity tomato and your heirloom tomato like this Cherokee purple plant is the productivity. So with the hybrids, they tend to be more productive. You'll get more tomatoes out of one plant. Just for the way your climate is. For us, this is a warm weather productive plant. The Cherokee purple, for us in California, it doesn't like warm weather. It'll stop once it gets too warm in terms of producing tomatoes. So it's done for the year. However, when it comes to taste, the heirloom is going to be has better texture and better taste. This hybrid is you're gonna find as your supermarket tomato. So you can pay a premium for vine ripened tomatoes at the supermarket and get these kinds of tomatoes. So if you're looking for something that is harder to find, where you have to go to the farmer's market and pay a little bit more, then you're going to want to grow the heirloom tomatoes. All right, let's move on. If you're just joining us, these are the Principe Borghese. In terms of tomatoes for your kitchen garden, we grow a lot of tomatoes for our kitchen. This is a good one to have cooking tomatoes early in the season. Later in the season, we'll get these Oxheart tomatoes, which is around now, I guess. We had 3 that were on this particular branch. It got so heavy that it started to tear it and it was hanging on. There were 2 large ones. These are the largest ones from this plant, it looks. They're a good softball size. And those 2 have ripened and we've taken them into the kitchen. We have some more that are ripened. And these are great cooking tomatoes because they have very little seed, a lot of flesh. So you're not getting a lot of tomato water when you cook. So we have some more on the vine. And I'm actually pretty surprised that they're still producing. This is a heat-loving one. Another good cooking tomato is one that I grow year after year, which are the Roma tomatoes. And these are starting to ripen up as well. So we have Roma tomatoes over here. And right before heading out for a few days, I ran some drip line to speed up so that my brother doesn't have to spend so much time watering. I think if he were to have to water this is probably 30 minutes of his time. So I don't really like the look of the drip. I would want to do a better job of hiding it. So after, if I get some time, I'm going to actually remove it. And my long-term goal is to actually run the pipes better so that it's hidden into the beds. But for now, this is what we have. And our plants, we have some that we just threw down here because there was going to be overspray from the drip. These are some peppers that need to be planted down. This is the Scotch bonnet yellow. This is a hatch pepper. We got some Florida broadleaf mustard. This is a nice one. It's a nice heat tolerant mustard, so we get mustard greens. Over here is a chili pini. They make these little small orange peppers. And then we have cucumbers. These need to be transplanted soon. I hope they're not root bound. If we wait too long, they'll get stunted. What's here? Some more eggplants. Oh, look, a variegated leaf on this one. These are long purple eggplants. And we have a mild winter, so we can overwinter our eggplants. Golden bantam corn. They're ready to go. I pulled one earlier for this garden update take number 1, and I didn't like it, so we're doing take number 2, so we can see here the golden bantam corn. It's got some really good, nice size kernels. This one didn't pollinate all the way, but we have some good ears on here. So in the next video, you probably won't see this bed full of corn. We're going to remove it now, eat them, and plant something else. And then we have pepper plants, lots of peppers. I want to share with you our peppers. So let's look at some of the ones from the back side here, and then we'll swing around and look at the ones from the front. This is one we're growing for fun. This was recommended to me. This is Quadranto d'Asti Russo, and we're starting to get some buds on it. And then this is another one we're growing for fun. I think this was recommended to me as well, or this one I picked. This is Pigment Jean Cerise, and this plant needs to be staked up a little bit. We'll have to tie it to this cage after, but it's making some peppers. I need to go back on the computer and see what it is about. I can't remember if I'm growing this one for fun or for eating. I think for eating. And then over here we have one that we're growing for eating, which is the orange bell pepper. And I like to come and check out the bell peppers as they are forming. If they're not symmetric, I like to thin them out. And it's important to thin out the bell peppers because you want to have large bell peppers. So if they're all growing at the same time, thin them out so that you'll get larger ones. So before we go and swing around and look at the other peppers, our tomatillos, I think they're ready to go because when I squeeze them, they're not giving too much, so that means they're a good size now. And I want to be able to come and harvest these and make a chile verde with you on one of the garden to table videos. It's just a little bit of challenge right now, finding the energy to do that. So much going on. Okay, and this is the Oaxacan green corn, and then this is the strawberry popcorn. This is finishing up. Let's see if we can look inside. Since this is a dry corn, I like to let it stay on the plant for as long as possible because I'm never sure when the ideal time is. But once it's dry, you know that's the ideal. For sure, you're not going to get it wrong. So we have some kernels right there. These make really good popcorn. And then, oh, it looks like our Oaxacan corn is starting to make silk and tassel. Okay, so let's come out this way, and then this is the ox heart tomato that we have growing. It's grafted onto. We have to make sure to remove some of that soil from here because this is the ox heart. We don't want it to start growing roots and sending it into the ground because it'll defeat the purpose of having it growing on a grafted rootstock. This is the celebrity rootstock, and one of the reasons why the celebrity tomato is so productive is because it's root knot nematode resistant. So we grafted on here. Hopefully, as it is warm now where the root knots are really active, it would not affect the rootstock and not affect the way that the roots are able to draw up nutrients and water to the top where it will continue to produce tomatoes for us. So this is the ox heart, and we're growing it multi-stem. I think I should have just left it as a single stem, but we're growing it as a multi-stem. We're going to let two main stems grow because we're going for large tomatoes, which is what this variety is. We want to be really on top of removing the suckers because as it draws nutrients, we want it to concentrate onto few fruits. That way it's not dispersed to many fruits and you get smaller fruit. And our cucumber is pretty much done now. We're letting it go to seed. So we have seed for next year. This is a national pickling cucumber. We harvested a couple and made some refrigerator pickles. It was pretty good. And then we have a couple of bags of potatoes. And I think potatoes grow well in grow bags because the water, as it evaporates, one of the drawbacks of grow bags is that it wicks away water. And if you're about conserving water, I think you're going to use more water to grow your plants. But I think one of the good things about the grow bag is that one of the properties of water is that when it evaporates, it actually has a cooling effect. So with potatoes, they like cool soil. So when it evaporates, it keeps the soil cool and the potatoes can continue to grow into our warm weather. So that's one theory, and I'm pretty sure that's why they grow well in grow bags. So we'll harvest these some other time. In the meantime, we already grabbed some for camp, and we'll talk more about potatoes in a future episode and all that stuff. Okay, let's go and come this way and look at our other peppers. So if you're just joining us, we were really excited and humbled to be picked as Burpee Home Gardens Gardener of the Year for the year 2020, and we're featured for the month of October. And as part of that, we were sent live plants and varieties that are going to be released maybe next year or sometime in the future. So we get to plant these out here. We have a jalapeno that is a sweet popper. This is a non-spicy one, and then this is a spicy one. And it worked out because I like growing jalapenos, the spicy ones, to pickle them, slice them up, pickle them, and use as a condiment in noodle soup. And we had trouble getting some to sprout this year, so it's nice to have these guys. And then these are great because we have kids that are not yet tolerant of spicy food, so we can make meals with these ones so that they can so we can have peppers in our meals, and everyone can have a meal that they can enjoy. And this one, I think we'll try to make something with it. I have an idea, chu chow satay sauce with it, I think. If it's too thin, then we'll probably dry it. It's a cayenne pepper, so we may end up drying it and using it as pepper flakes. And then the last pepper here is the basket of fire. And this one I would probably grow for fun. So I would put this in the grow for fun category because it's a low sprawling plant, and I would grow it near the steps to our house, and it makes really neat, interesting plant. So here it is. And let's see here. Whoa, what's this? This looks interesting. I think it's just an aphid swarm of the fern leaf dill, and it's curled up. I really enjoy having this dill here. It's a really nice photo. It creates depth with the flowers in front. And the thing is that they attract mason bees, and mason bees are great pollinators. So I'm going to try to plant more dill around. Let's go in the greenhouse real quick and look at more peppers. You've seen these if you've been to the garden and seen the previous update, and we like to let them turn red. They turn sweeter, and they make interesting color for dishes like pasta salad. And we're finishing up on our house edition, and the last thing is the fire sprinkler. One of the fire sprinkler guys, he's Guatemalan, and he told me about Guatemalan chili relleno, and it's made with bell peppers. And I really want to make this dish with you on a garden to table episode, and I really hope to be able to get to it this year, but if not, next year. So Guatemalan chili relleno, that sounds really tasty. Let's see, other things, just our tea plant here, some more peppers. This one, if you caught in the last update, I think I talked about it. This is a grafted kaffir lime onto a grapefruit rootstock that my brother grew from seed, and I grafted it on here. And what's amazing is, check out the size of the leaves. I think it's been influenced by the pomelo rootstock to make these large leaves, and it was grafted a couple months ago, and it's got this nice scar tissue, and it's huge. And as I'm brushing it, I can smell the kaffir lime flavor or scent. It's quite strong. All right, let's come on out and head over to the other side to show you one other pepper plant that I'm really excited about. But before we go over there, I'm not sure if I showed you this yet. This is a planter that I built and put on top of a gorilla cart, and the reason is because we have a slope, so all the sun gets blocked by it, which is nice because it keeps the house cool. But when it comes to growing plants like corn, we don't get enough direct sun. So what's nice about it is right here it gets a good amount of sun, but at the same time, if we need the space to entertain, we can push this aside and have the space open up. So that was one of the reasons. And it's built from leftover construction scrap wood. This is the fascia board, and it's nice that it has this shiplap feature. And so we just quickly put it together with some screws, and we have some Oaxacan corn growing. And that's this planter. Let's go and look at a pepper plant that I'm very excited about. It's another one that I use for cooking. So if you're just joining the channel, I like to grow a lot of things for cooking, and then some things for just to enjoy and watch it grow. So we have more cooking peppers than we have ones that we grow for fun. It's due to space considerations. This is a New Mexico 64L. It's a hatch pepper, and it's known to be a large one. And this is actually one of the few things that I like big, because as it gets bigger, it has more flavor. So, yeah. All right. Car's coming by, and let's end the video. We'll talk about more of that pepper next time. Thanks for coming out with me to the garden, and we'll see you in the next video.